How would you assess Iron Man? Now, that was the post I came across on LinkedIn last week. It's not just Tony Stark in there, it's also Jarvis, the AI, and the high-tech suit of armour. Now, here you've got a complex blend of human intelligence, artificial intelligence, and technology, and it poses a unique challenge for us as AI becomes more prominent in the classroom. Hey everyone, and welcome to Deep Teaching, the channel dedicated to exploring the world of education and how we can use tools and strategies to become better teachers and learners. I just wanted to interrupt this video to explain to you, one, why I sound so croaky, I've got a cold, and two, to do with the hat. I'm just not got used to having short hair yet, and it doesn't want to stay in place, and it annoys me when I watch the videos. Now that I've cleared that up, let's get back to the video. In this video, I'm going to show you how I took the Iron Man conundrum to not only integrate AI into assessments, but also assess the students' use of the AI. Now, before we jump in, if you find this video useful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow teachers. Now, Leon Furs wrote about the AI assessment scale a few months ago, and this concept outlines how artificial intelligence can be integrated into student assessments. It ranges from no AI, where we have traditional assessment methods, and it goes all the way over to full AI, where AI will generate the entire output. Now, in between that, we have ideation, organizing, and feedback. Now, because I am a huge Marvel and general comic book fan, and because the analogy is actually awesome, Iron Man is going to help us explain the sliding scale of assessment. So first up, we have Tony Stark alone. Imagine a world without Iron Man's suit, where it is just Tony Stark and his intellect. Well, this is our starting point. What we consider traditional handwritten exams, no AI, no tech. We're simply gauging raw capabilities, just like assessing Tony's genius without his gadgets. Next up, we have blueprints, prototypes, and holograms. Now, imagine the film where you're seeing Tony Stark brainstorm with holographic design interfaces. This is kind of where AI begins to assist, aiding in brainstorming, writing, and even image generation. It's got a dynamic blend of text and visuals to enhance understanding. Number 3, we have the Jarvis assistant. Now, Jarvis is the AI, and he's going to be aiding us sifting through data and plans. Now, at this stage, it structures our messy notes and ideas, turning chaos into clarity. And it's Jarvis making sense of Tony's genius. Number 4, next up, we have the training simulation. So remember those simulation exercises that Iron Man uses for refining? Well, here, AI offers real-time feedback, suggesting improvements, just like Jarvis advising Tony in mid-flight. This AI enhances the revision process, making the work shine. And lastly, the full Iron Man suit. The pinnacle, the AI isn't just helping, it's co-creating. Picture the Iron Man suit responding instantly to Tony's commands. Similarly, AI at this level crafts a complete refined product from a student's initial ideas. It's the zenith of human-AI synergy. And this is but the first piece we need, and let me explain why. Now, for me, the real power of AI is in its ability to interact and make sense of information packs. So if you're using ChatGPT, you can upload files. If you're using Claude 2, you can upload files. And there's other alternatives out there like ChatPDF. Now, what I have made with some AI help here is an AI integration assessment pack. It's got information on the criteria to assess, examples of how to assess it, summarized research on assessment from Dylan William, as well as feedback from Hattie. And there's a few other snippets in there to support the outcome. So let me show you now how this all fits together. First thing that we're going to do with this is we are going to use a prompt to help generate some ideas. And this was, again, one of those things that within my professional learning network on LinkedIn, and I can't remember who it came from now, whether it was from Matthew or Darren or that kind of group of people. But there is this prompt that's really, really good for creating ideas about how to utilize or bring about ChatGPT into the lessons. So I'm going to use this prompt to help generate some ideas, and it also obviously comes up with ethical components to it as well. But It's the parts afterwards that I'm really interested in, just because it's good ideation. One of the things I'm finding right now regarding AI and how I am effectively integrating it into the classroom, into the lessons and for the students, is that it's no longer just a case of putting one prompt in or just doing one thing. I'm finding that I'm constantly layering one prompt into another, and then obviously it's how I interact with that and what I choose to do with it, and areas to develop into it as well. So I would like to think that this is a real synergy of AI, me working with the AI to get what I want out of it, and also then to be able to push it onto the students for them to also get something out of it. So this prompt is really good at coming up with ways in which you can incorporate ChatGPT or another AI, if you're using that, into your lessons. So I gave it the task that I'm going to be doing, which was to do with transport and molecules. So biologists out there, or non-biologists, it's like diffusion, osmosis, active transport type of things. So what it has come up with for me, got some ideas about concepts understanding, comparisons, roles, and applications. So I'm going to pick out one of these. So let's have a look. What do I want? The one I kind of like, this role embodiment one. So I'm going to take that one, and we're going to use that as the stem for the assessment part. Now that I'm done that, I'm going to go back, I'm going to create another new chat, but this time, because I'm on GPT-4, I've got this advanced data analysis section. And what that does is it allows me to be able to upload files. There's the file that I want to upload. So this is my assessment with AI. So it has all the parts that I want it to work with and talk about. And then what I need to do, I'm just copying this over, is I'm going to use this, what I consider, it's almost a bit like a super prompt. It's so vast. So this is the prompt. It's got the data there. I imagine what's going to be next is it's going to ask me to read through. So it always asks to have a look at the document, which is good because then it knows what we're referring to. So it's probably going to give me a bit of a summary. And then hopefully with the information I've given it in the prompt, it is just going to refer to that knowledge pack, as it were, that information pack, and it's going to start to come out with some output. So as with most things here, what I'm finding with this, like I'm 80% happy with that. And of everything I've ever used, all the different prompts making things, what I'm finding now is that, yeah, it's the accuracy of kind of what I want is a lot higher, but it still requires some more questioning and some more diving and tweaking and questioning on my half to get to really to the end product that I want it to. So overall, in terms of what we've got there, I'm really happy with it. Probably the only thing I'd say is, right, I want this in a table so that it's easily transferable, but it's addressed everything I want in terms of creativity, application of knowledge, and then also the area of AI integration that we're going to feedback, that we're going to review, which is feedback. The evidence actually is quite decent. So we've got the initial version, AI feedback received, changes are made based on the AI feedback, a reflection on how the AI feedback handles. So that for me is the area that I'd probably want a little bit of development on right now. So that's what I'm going to ask it to do. even just reading this as it came out, and how I view it is most of these points are generally pretty good. I'm not necessarily going to use them all though. So I'll pick and choose the ones that I think are right, and I'll pick and choose the ones thinking about the time frame that I want my students to work to and what they're going to get the most out of, and add that into what is OneNote for me. So add it onto the page so it's clear for them of what they need to do. It's clear in terms of what and how they're going to be assessed and the evidence they need to provide for that assessment. The one thing you probably note from this is there's not a huge amount of structure on what to do with the AI. Because in reality, that's what we want to assess. It is that how well are students using it, so that when it comes to feedback, then you can specify in terms of literacy, language, and quality of prompting, or, continued questions and curiosity to develop the ideas and what you can get out from it. So with this, I look at it and go, it isn't just going to be one piece of feedback. There's potentially going to be multiple pieces of feedback and conversations that take place until they're at a happy point where they know what to do and how to do it to develop. There's my rubric in a table, which is much better. And then obviously I can use that for feedback. I could get the kids to go through it if they wanted to for peer assessment. So what I've done here is I've actually gone, now I've got the information in so it knows what it's doing. I've asked it to write a student-friendly brief, even with my terrible typing. And obviously it's pulling on all the information it's got previously, which is great. So let's go with this. I even like the fact it's putting the little emojis for me. So let's start with that. AI's helped us write out the student-friendly briefs. We've got an objective. Imagine you're a water molecule. Describe your journey through a cell membrane by osmosis. Be creative. It's really the focus on this part that we want from the kids. I think that's the part I want us to be explicit with. So I'm going to leave this because they're quite a good bunch. Let's leave that up to them. In fact, I'll take some of them out. I'm going to leave some of them in just as guidelines. And maybe go back to the AI. I'll ask it that. A step-by-step on how students should complete the assessment using AI. Actually, in reading it now and comparing it, it's pretty good in terms of it's not giving them too much. But probably what we want is the last part about them documenting the process. As an opening gambit in terms of transporting molecules, we've used the pack to create the assessment and the idea, and then it's the follow-up questions just to get the finer details and specifics for the students and what they need. So in terms of the objective, and it's talking about the creativity, AI integration, and document. Pretty happy with that. So the next part I'm going to build in is going to be, obviously, what do they refer to it as? But the student appendix page. I'm just going to call it student evidence. So let's use this. So we found our evidence appendix. And let's get everything else we need, and then we can start to think about the layout. We've got our kind of student brief in terms of what they need to be able to do and how they need to be able to document the process. We have our student evidence section, which obviously the students will be able to move around with that. Don't need that part in there. Don't need that part in there because I'm just going to put it there. In case you're doing it as separate pages, you could have it as that really. So it's and then lastly, obviously, what we would need. That's the whole purpose of this, is the rubric. Is that big enough? Yeah. Is I actually have to either copy that into Notion or into Google Docs if I want the grey coloration off it, and then copy it back. But for the sake of this, I'm not too concerned. What I will do is I'll just put these parts into bold that I'm happy with. And there we go, done. We have our brief. We have evidence in terms of what to do, so that's going to obviously be their action for the lesson, takes them through the steps, and then lastly there is an assessment rubric that, based on those, I will just copy and paste that into it. We've created an assessment that's looking at students' use of AI. There we go. As they start to use it, I think it becomes important then in terms of them seeing it as well. Is it helpful? And hopefully they can see the journey of it in terms of what they started with to then what they inputted and how it changed and all these things. And this is my first time doing it. It's going to be the kids' first time doing it as well. So it'd be interesting to see the feedback and output. And then obviously you can start to modify the task, the prompt, everything else that goes with it based on their feedback as well. All right, everyone. We have explored some pretty cool ways today on integrating AI into activities and assessing students' use of it. And I hope you're leaving this video with some inspiration and some fresh ideas for your next project or class. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can stay up to date with our content. And hey, I'd love to hear from you, so drop a comment below sharing which AI integration idea you found most exciting or how you plan to use these strategies. Your insights might just help someone else out as well. And that's it. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.